name is Madonna Brown, and this is Hank Brown, and we're both licensed clinical mental health counselors. And at age 46, Hank began to have symptoms of Lewy Body Dementia, and he is now 56, so it's been 10 years. And if you've been watching our other videos, I have some out about caregiving, the frustrations of that, and today I think we're going to talk more about the frustrations that Hank has, because I share mine a lot on a video, but Hank doesn't get to share his frustrations. And things have been so frustrating lately for both of us that Hank has decided that he wants to get a therapist to talk to him. We both will see the therapist to start with, and then he'll have his own session, so he has a place to go to vent and talk about whatever he wants to. So do you think that you've been really frustrated lately?
Yeah, I have to say I have been. Caregiving, with Madonna is great, but then, I've got to the point now I go to adult daycare, and at first I thought, well, this is just it. It's just going to be it, daycare. I mean, like that. But then when we really got into it, I seen how much stress Madonna has, at home, cooking, doing everything. So I just finally realized that, hey, I need to do this not only for myself but for Madonna, so she'll have some free time for herself, and and stuff. And anything you want to say about that?
That's very nice of you to reason through that and to do it for me.
Well, yeah, because truthfully, I wouldn't really want to do it, but
Yeah.
it just comes down to it. At a certain time, you got to face the facts of what is going on with you,
Right.
or me, and stuff. And this is a disease that don't just hurt me; it hurts Madonna. It helps. It hurts. Everybody that knows me, and stuff. So,
Ain't it weird how things like that affect us all?
yeah,
We just think, oh, it's a disease and it's just hurting me, but it's not. I've been amazed by all that, because I've not been exposed to this before. I had a grandmother that had Alzheimer's, but she was in the nursing home for 10 years, and I understand it affected everybody, but we lived in North Carolina at the time, so I didn't really go visit her that much. I knew it affected Mom, but I've been amazed how it affects me, and even Mom and Loy and the grandkids, definitely the kids. Everybody that we, I guess, come in contact with, it kind of affects. But that's a very good point, Hank.
yeah. And just like the daycare, I go and do, and in the end, a lot of days, I don't really have that much fun. But there's some days we get the Wii out there at the place where I go, and we do things. We go out and kind of walk around a little bit and stuff. So, if you're facing something like this, don't just think that it's the end. It's not the end. There'll be a lot more problems come up, but don't think of it as being the end.
That's very good.
I think that's about the best advice I can give right at this moment, when we're talking about this.
One, I think too, it's not the end. It just is. I always say, if you're in a car accident and your leg gets cut off, you just adjust your life for that. And I've been telling clients things like that. Whatever it is, if you're disabled, you adjust your life for that. And now you learn to walk and do what you need to with crutches or whatever you need to do. But now that we're in the middle of it, it's not that easy. I understand that's a good philosophy to live by, but it's really hard now that we're in the midst of it. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about some of the aggression that you're having now, more of the frustration, even the anger. You're more aggressive. I want to say assertive, but it's really you get more aggressive. I can see the frustration, and that's not ever been your personality. So
yeah, and I think it goes back to almost like the first part of the thing that we talked about. It's not always aimed toward Madonna or something else. It's I'm losing things that I can't do anymore. You know, a good example the other day, or a couple of nights ago or something, Madonna, I needed Flonase, I think, or something, and she told me where it was, and the time I got in there, you know, it kind of started a fight, not a fight, but an argument, because I was wanting to find it, you know, and stuff, and she found it, and I mean, but yeah, you know, just little things like that can just explode into something.
well, and that's what I talked about in a caregiving video, was something that you were going to do, and ended up I just got up and did it because I knew it was going to be worse. Me trying to explain it to you is going to be frustrating for you and me both, but yet it still was an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to work on that now, realizing that I don't need to try to do everything that I used to do, maybe.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And
Even as we get older, there's always things that we cannot do. There's things that we cannot do that we once could do. You know. Yeah, good point. So what about shaving? So I don't know if y'all noticed, but he didn't have a beard, had a beard, then he didn't have a beard, so now he's growing it out, and that was another thing I put in my video the other day as a caregiver. I never known where do you shave a man's beard at. I've never shaved a man's beard, and Hank needs it shaved. Of course, he did it, but was that frustrating for you trying to figure out?
no, it seemed like once you got it started,
Okay.
it all kind of came back.
Okay, good. So it kind of like, as they say, like riding a bike? It just come back to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess something like that.
Okay.
And stuff, but yeah.
What about communication? I find that's where it's really difficult for me because we don't communicate like we did. It's just too difficult.
Yeah, and that's something we got to work on, I think.
Do you think at this stage that we'll be able to work on it? It's like if I say something's blue, you're going to see it maybe as yellow. And it's not that we're trying to argue over it. You honestly see it as yellow, and I honestly see it as blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just hope it don't get to that anytime soon. But, you know, that's something else you can work on.
Okay.
But it don't, you know, it's Lewy body. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to come out, you know. It could be, you know, getting ready to go to a party, and the next thing you know, you forgot something, you get, what's the old word, bumfuzzled?
Bumfuzzled,
Yeah, and stuff, and then next thing you know, things just, it ain't really my fault, Madonna's fault, or it's
True.
kind of Lewy body's fault, and stuff. So yeah, I guess the old saying, just keep hanging in there and do the best you can do, whatever you can do.
And just keep moving on, don't we?
Just keep moving on.
And Hank normally don't drive, but he did drive the other day. And that was very exciting for him. It was kind of anxiety provoking for me.
Drove twice.
Yeah, Shane let you drive. Yeah, sure did.
And stuff, and that was a real booster for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, wow, that's something I never dreamed I'd ever do again, you know.
And you rode on the back of a motorcycle the other day.
Yeah, I rode on the back of a motorcycle, and
I heard you laughed and laughed and laughed on that motorcycle.
Yeah, I had a ball with it. I used to have one, and then got rid of it. But
so how are you feeling knowing that you are not going to be able to have a motorcycle and drive that motorcycle anymore?
Truthfully, I mean, I seen the motorcycle Shane had and stuff, and it'd be just like anything else. I would really love to do it, but I know I can't now.
Okay.
I mean, it's just
Okay.
facts of life, you know.
Right.
They have a little mini scooter I might go putt around a little bit in, but
well, and it's kind of like with me. I mean, how many motorcycles have I been able to drive? I've not. I drive most things, but not a motorcycle, because like Shane's new motorcycle seems lightweight, but I'm too short for it. So I've never been able to do it. You at least did get to drive a motorcycle in your life. You have that experience. Kind of like we drove 18-wheeler for a while. We both have our CDLs. We did that. We're not doing it now, but we did it one time. And I'm glad for the experience. We're counselors now. You have one client that you see. You may not over time continue, but it just is for now what it is.
It's something I was going to say now, I forgot.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was. I just went blank. Is I guess going right back to, you know, do what you can do instead of worrying about what you can't do.
Good.
I mean, it's because you'll have more joy trying to do the good stuff than trying to focus on all the bad. Because if you focus on all the bad, that's what you're going to end up getting.
And do you think that I cater to you too often? I hear from people, they're saying you do too much for him. You should let him do more. You are just babying him. You need to be a little more, I don't know, stern is the word, but I just wonder what you think.
Well, it's one of those sayings, you know, walk in my shoes, you know, for a little while.
Okay.
I mean, that's about the best I can think of right now, you know.
And people hurt the ones they love. I hear that.
Yes, they do, you know, and I'm part of that, you know. I hurt you a lot of times because of stupid stuff that didn't really mean anything, you know.
And what's so funny about that is I feel like I hurt you a lot of times over stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And then we both are upset because we've hurt the other one. But I think that's good that we care that much for one another.
Yeah.
That you hate it because you hurt me, and I hate it because I hurt you. I don't want to see you hurt, and I don't think you want to see me hurt.
Yeah. No, I don't want to see nobody hurt. You know.
But I will tell you at this point, and I didn't see it till a couple of days ago, I'm really angry at Lewy Body Dementia. That it took a lot of years from us, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about it till a couple of days ago. You know, 46 years old, I mean, how young is that? And we were just getting to where our practice had built up and things were great. And, you know, I thought we was going to not retire necessarily. I never want to retire, but now that you're doing telehealth, I am, and we could have traveled and everything, but it's not that way. And I guess what I'm telling everybody out there watching, you're not going to know what's going to happen in life. And now we do what we can, as they say, to take the best of it, learn from it, and move on. And this is our life now. And no, we won't get an RV and be traveling, just me and you, because that's too much burden for me. But, you know, we got a 16-year-old grandson, Colton, and we've talked about him going with us. That really takes a lot of burden off of me. I mean, he's a tall, strong guy, and he can help us, and we get along really well with him. And him and Pappy pick on one another all the time, so it works out good. Yeah. So we tell you these things because we want to be encouraging for you. We want to help you in any way we can. We want to make sure that our struggles that we're going through are useful to somebody else because we're going through them. And it's not going to change.
And I like goals. One of my goals is to be the first person to be cured of Lewy Body Dementia. Now, that don't make me want to think somebody else don't need to be that. It's just a goal to think about. Somebody's got to be the first.
That's
if it
true.
comes up, me, whoever.
That's right.
I want the disease gone.
Right.
Instead of worrying about other stuff.
Right. So we just move forward day by day, don't we?
One day at a time.
And we'll continue to use our experiences to help other people the best we can. So if you have any comments, you got any questions, you need anything, just let us know and we'll do what we can to help you. And do you have something you want to say at the end?
What was it?
It was what Brother Skaggs always said.
Oh yeah, I gotta get it in my head though.
Okay.
If you like what we're doing, tell everybody, and if you don't, keep your mouth shut.
So we'll try to do another video soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.